Hey, how you doing? This is Tommy here from Trading with Harmony. So hope you're having a great week. So I'll be analysing the markets then from the actual December the 14th to December the 18th. So stay tuned. I'll see you straight after the intro. Thanks. Okay, so in the actual euro dollar, we can still see here that actually this week was a bit much a actual sideways week, like so. But let's go into the 4 hours and have a look at our actual setups. So last week then we actually we finished here at this point here, and what I was talking about was that if we can get a bit more of a pullback, and then for our next move or next leg up actually for to our take profit, but pretty much then you can see then it's just been going actually sideways here, you can see, right? So but what else is happening? So what we can see here happening here is a channel starting to happen here in this form here. We can see price has come up, it's come down, it's come up here again, just come down a little bit and then hit it again and hit it again, and then it just broke through it. So what I'm looking at then for this week then is for price then to come down to this part of the actual channel before it's going to actually come back up north and hit our new TP, being the actual 1.2234 in the euro dollar. Okay, so in the pound dollar then we can see here that the bears were pretty much back in control for this week actually. So we're getting more of a kind of a pullback into our actually weekly bearish trend line, which has been broken previous weeks before. So let's go into the 4 hours and have a look at our actual. So last week then we finished here at this point here. And what I was talking about last week was that if we can get a bit more of a pullback into this actually structural level, support being the actual 1.3233, and once it holds at this level, then we're looking for a move back up and hit our target. But it was actually finished actually 30 pips short of our actually target before it actually continued back down and broke our structural level here, and then it just about touched our actual the bottom part of our ascending channel. So what I'm looking at then for this week then is if we can get price to come up into this area and before it comes back down to hit our actually TP level, being the actual 1.3107 on the pound dollar. Okay, so the actual dollar yen then we can see here that actually it's been in the actual day candles been another sideways week again in this actually move that we're looking for down south in our descending channel. So let's go into the 4 hours and have a look at our setups. Okay, so last week then we finished here at this point, and what I was talking about last week is, so if we can get more of a pullback or up into our resistance area, and once it holds at this resistance area, we're looking for a move down. But again, it just actually it's hitting this big actual support level up here that it just cannot seem to break at the moment. But I'm still looking for a move to break this week coming, to come down to hit our actual new TP, being the actual 103.48 in the dollar yen. Okay, so the dollar Canadian, and we can see here that the bears are in control here. So it's been, the price is driven down south. So and previous week the actual was a big engulfing candle that actually finished underneath our actually weekly support level, and then it comes resistance. We can see here the last few days it's been touching underneath of it. So let's go into the actual 4 hours and have a look at our set. So last week then we finished here at this point here. What I was talking about last week then was that we can get price to come back up into our from previous actually support, which becomes resistance, and once price holds at this level here, which it did, actually came up and touched it 3 times this week before it came down to our newer low. And so what we're looking at then for this week then is for price then will actually if not just from the opening of the new week, to just come down and hit our TP, or else we're going to get a bit more of a pullback again before it will come down to hit our TP, being the actual 1.2680 in the dollar Canadian. Okay, so the pound Aussie then. So on Thursday we just had a massive actually bearish candle that actually just stormed down and actually went straight through our actually weekly support level as well, and then Friday just continued going down south. So let's go into our actual 4 hours and have a look at our setups. Okay, so last week then actually we finished here at this point, and what I was talking about then was we're looking for price to continue down south to hit our TP. So it did, it came down and hit our actual TP, being the actual 1.7936, and then it just went sideways for a bit then before we just did on Thursday, then before we just actually on Friday it just stormed down actually and broke our actual our weekly support here. So what I'm looking at then for this week coming then is for price then to get more of a retracement to up into this level here, being the 1.7706, and then to come down to hit our new TP, our second weekly support level here, being the actual 1.7334 in the pound Aussie. Okay, so the euro yen then in the day candle has been pretty much then a sideways week then for the actual euro yen. So but still the bulls are in place, so we're still in a bullish market. So let's go into the actual 4 hours and have a look at our setups. Okay, so last week then we actually finished here at this point here. Okay, so as I was saying, like, you know, the actual markets then has been going sideways then pretty much then for the week here. We just had, it looked like it was going to go up, but it just got rejected here again. So at this actually point here, so what I'm looking at then for this week then actually is more than likely we're going to get, because you can see a lot of wicks here in these 4 hour candles, the price is going to drive down to our actual structural level, being the 125.12 before. Once it holds at that structural level before, we're going to see price to continue back up north to hit our TP level, being the 127.50 in the euro yen. Okay, so in gold then we can see here that actually we got a big actually retracement back this week actually, because previous week we'd finished down here, and then for this week it's been pretty much it just as a deep retracement back into our actual broken support, which comes resistance here, you can see. Okay, so let's go into the 4 hours and have a look at our setups. So last week then we finished here at this point, and what I was talking about last week was that if we can get price to come back up, and once it holds at this structural level being the 1848, but what it did was it went down to the actual bottom part of our ascending channel before it came up and broke that actually resistance level. But what we can see here as well is starting to happen is the actual head and shoulders pattern here. So we can see here, this is what's starting to happen here. So what I'm looking at then for this week then is for the actual completion of the head and shoulder pattern, in terms of once we come down to this level here, because we can see a lot of actual resistance and actually support forming here at these two levels here. Okay, so once we get price to come down to this there, that'll I'll be happy enough with that then, in terms of actually because of the actual, you can see here the sideways movements here, okay, in terms of that, which is around, actually from where it is, actually it's 300 pips away from it, yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at then for in the actual gold for this week coming. Okay, so in the Dow Jones, then we can see here then pretty much actually what's after happening is that it's been a sideways week then as well for the Dow, yeah. Okay, so we can see here like the last 5 candles here is being pretty much like in this actually range here. Okay, so let's go into the 4 hours and have a look at our setups. Okay then, so the Dow then, last week then we finished at this point here. And what I was talking about last week was that quite possibly on Monday it will hit our target, because previous week we were looking for that target to hit, and I nearly hit it then at the end of previous week, but then Monday it just hit our target, so that's good. So if you're on that, guys, well done. So what I'm looking at then for this week coming then is actually for price, quite possibly it will come back into this actual level here, but once it holds here at the actual the 29,725, we're looking for price then to continue up north to hit our new TP level, being the 3,400 in the Dow for this week then, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. But guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, give the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. That would be great. And have a great week coming. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.